here, everyone. That day we all thought was eventually going to come and weren't really sure when. It's here. 2Gryphon finally got into some deep shit. For anyone who does not know 2Gryphon, he is a comedian, um, sort of, and he's been known for giving a lot of stand-up and panels and radio shit, and I don't know. All I know is when I first discovered the fandom, I thought he was kind of funny, but he's in some hot water. So let's talk about that. But first, that was necessary. So, what exactly happened? Because there's a lot to unpack here. If you're not familiar with the Ranting Griffin, you should probably just Google him and get a little bit of background info. But if you don't feel like doing that, he is a self-proclaimed comedian. I'm pretty sure he's done some legit clubs. I'm sure he's gotten some legit work, but I personally don't find him that funny anymore. And here's why. So, Two's big platform is kind of this very in-your-face, like, shock comedy. I love that kind of comedy, but not if it's not funny. Here's the thing, like, if you're gonna make a really out there, like, joke, it's gotta be really funny. Otherwise, you're gonna insult a lot of people, and not a lot of people are gonna laugh, and that's not good. I am not a comedian. I'm gonna go ahead and put that out there front and center. I am not a comic. I am very bad at people making laugh. I cannot make jokes to save my life. I am not funny. Intentionally, anyway. But I do find it a little rich when, certain comics go, they don't get the joke. And it's some really insensitive joke that, like if you'd maybe thought about it, done it a few more times, like really let it marinate in your head before it came out your mouth, you might have gone like, you know what, this isn't that funny. I should work on this a bit more. I feel like that would have helped, but it doesn't help either that Two also has a tendency to just, tweet very freely and sometimes with very little abandon to what it actually does to his reputation, much like a certain leader of the free world right now. Interesting. So, at this year's Anthrocon, this year is 2017, it was basically publicly announced via Twitter and literally everyone's mom that 2Gryphon was not going to be having his usual stand-up bit. Surprising, because he usually has it almost every year. Anyone who knows anyone in the community knows that Kage and Two are like BFFs. They usually do these like wine streams and they talk together and they bounce off each other pretty well. But here's the thing that I have noticed, and this is objective and this is my opinion, this is not fact. Whenever 2Gryphon and Kage share a stage, there's usually at least a faint level of a boundary that they try to stick to. Two tends to go flying way up here with like some of the super offensive, and Kage tends to rein it in just a little bit. So it kind of can balance itself out. Even if it's not that funny, you're not going to get as thoroughly offended during a mixed show of the two of them than just 2Gryphon. And at least it's appeared to me that when 2Gryphon has his own stage, you have like a 50-50 chance that some of his jokes haven't really been tested out first. And you can see this in the way that they're actually dropped on the stage. Kind of like, you funny? Funny? Laugh? Yes? No? Okay, next joke. Like, you'll see that really awkward exchange of like, hey, nope. And maybe that's every comic. I don't go to comedy clubs anymore. The ones in New York kind of suck on certain nights. You either get a real good night or you get a real doozy of a night. But I've just noticed that from past live streams and just paying attention that, whenever Kage's there, there's there's a baseline level of control. But if he's not there, it's go to the Wild West up there. You might get some good jokes that are genuinely funny that I've laughed at. And you might get some jokes that, oh boy, yikes. YouTube comments are going to be real mean on that one. And another thing that kind of bothers me about 2 that never really bothered me before until I actually did a deep dive into his channel was some of the way that he phrases things can come off as very callous. And I don't think he's that aware of it. So, for instance, he'll say SJWs. That's like a common term you hear on the internet, social justice warrior, but it's very dismissive, very kind of nasty term. So if someone's trying to like fire back in the comments like, oh, you're just being mean, like you don't see the whole picture. Like, I get that SJWs are kind of a pain in the ass sometimes. Dude, I've posted pretty pictures of like horses jumping stuff, and they're like, have you seen spirits dying at the Cimarron? That's complete abuse. Rah! And it's annoying. It's really fucking annoying because you're just like, dude, can I just enjoy my picture of a horse? Like, seriously? But how 2 has done this has been a little bit more than that. On one occasion, he made a comment about suicide. I know from watching all of the back and forth that he wasn't trying to trigger people. But as someone who's lost someone to suicide, the way he approached it was not great. And here's why. Basically saying that if you kill yourself because someone sends you mean text messages, you deserve to be dead. You're not laughing, are you? No, because that's not funny. If you've ever lost someone because they felt like they couldn't cope with their life anymore, whether it be from getting mean messages or getting bullied or getting beaten up every day by people, by bullies at school, or getting beaten up by your family or getting thrown out by your family, or being gay and not really being able to process it because you've been raised in like this religious house that doesn't accept you and you just don't know what to do, or, you know, just naturally having chemical things in your brain telling you that you don't want to exist anymore. It exists. It's real. Like, some people genuinely think ending their lives is the solution. Who are we to judge? We don't usually know any of their situations. So to say to someone like, oh, your friend killing themselves because they got mean text messages means they deserve to die, yeah, that's gonna ruffle a few feathers. That's gonna piss some bitches off. Myself included, which is why I pretty much stopped laughing at his jokes after I saw that post. I was like, yeah, I bet my best friend in high school would find that hilarious too. They'd find it a real knee slapper if they hadn't killed themselves. Another thing that happened was he made some tweets about free speech, but the way he did them was like not very well executed. He's made references to like Nazi things in a couple of tweets, and I'm sure he did not mean it in the way of like, I am a Nazi, Sieg, whatever they do. But 2017 is not really the year you want to be doing that shit. With David Duke and the KKK and all kinds of crazy bullshit and Brexit and Trump, and it's just not the year to drop a Nazi joke, you guys. Like, I'm all for like a good Nazi joke, but it's just not that kind of year. It's save that shit for 2018, or better yet, save that shit for never, or Thanksgiving, where you know everyone and they're not gonna rip you apart. Just actually, you know what? If you want to laugh at that joke, laugh at it in your head. That's the safest place to laugh at it in. Yeah. And I know some good Nazi jokes, but you don't see me telling them because it is not the right time to be doing that shit. And I think finally the last thing that kind of like set it off for most people is this one tweet that he did about Detroit. Now, understandably, out of context, not maybe the best decision he's ever made. If you see his tweet and you don't know him and you don't know he's from Detroit and you don't know the context in which he tweeted it, it does look pretty fucking racist. Now, if you do know him and you do know he's from Detroit and you have listened to some of his talks and you do kind of get where the humor is, you can kind of see where he wasn't really trying to be racist, but still came off pretty fucking racist. Like it's still pretty fucking racist. Even if it's unintentional, it's not something he should have done. But you know what? He made his decision. I actually fully agree with the people at AC. Having someone as incendiary as that telling, some like pretty R-rated content at a panel. Probably not the best decision right now. Maybe in a couple of years when everybody's settled down and, Trump's not president and we're not all like constantly triggered by our CNN app constantly spewing out alerts about the latest bullshit that came out. Yeah, maybe we can have a 2Gryphon stand up and it's not really gonna be that bad, but it's just not. It's not a good time for that. We've had Confederate suitors send everyone up into flames. We've had crazy bewares explode in the community. We had that one really scary incident where a bunch of people who I guess were furries committed like crazy crimes that I'm not going to get into because I'm not associating us as a whole with that because that's bullshit. But it happened. And unfortunately, they were from our community. So understandably, Anthrocon is like, whoa, we need to make some smart decisions right now, guys. Like, this is not a good decision. So you know what? I stand by them. Is a little extreme? Kind of. Extreme would have been completely banning his ass, but you know what? Not giving him stage time because you're just like, let's be careful. That's not that bad. Like, he can still go get a con badge. He can still tell jokes in his room for whoever wants to listen to him. Or, shit, he can do his stand-up bit that he wanted to do there as a live stream. Like, he's not losing anything, really. He'll probably get more followers if he does his live stream. Hey, too, just do it as a live stream. If you really want it, just do it. You can do it. You got enough followers. People retweet that shit like wildfire anyway. Hey, man, just fucking do it. But, yeah, that's my thought on the 2Gryphon situation. Do I personally think he's funny anymore? Depends on the joke. But do I actively plan on supporting him at any of his stand-ups or going out of my way to talk to him? No. He rubbed me the wrong way, dude. Like, it happens. And watching how he's handled this whole ordeal, it's been about as professional as it can get for him. But yeah, you didn't win me over, dude. I'm sorry. I'm not going to go see your stand-up. I'm sure someone else will, but I personally don't think telling people that if they kill themselves is really that cool. So you kind of lost me there, bro. You kind of lost me there. But anyways, what are your thoughts on this situation? Do you think taking away his stage time was unfair? Or do you think it was too lenient? Do you think he should actually not be allowed to go back to Anthrocon? Let me know. Also, what are your thoughts on Kage? I have not disclosed my thoughts on Kage because, quite frankly, I think I'm too biased to give my thoughts on Kage. But leave them in the comments. I would love to hear what you think. But anyways, that's all for now.